Well, hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So this is the continuation of our school project and it is day one of the main build. Now I'm feeling a little bit tired. It's a long weekend at the park. It's Monday morning. Okay, so it begins. First delivery from Ridgeway helping us out again with some machinery. These people really don't sleep. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning now, but they're certainly on the ball, which isn't a bad thing. So I'm gonna go home now, get myself some breakfast, and then we'll head back up here in an hour or so. The rest of the guys have just arrived on site. Today we got myself, got James from Revolution, got Farmer John, you've got Lee, our mechanic slash forester from Revolution, and we've also got Bruce, who's another forester. Have come in with this chipper so they can cut through and clear up all of the laurel and other sort of species that we want to get rid of some of it to make room for the track. So John and I are going to start moving some concrete, finishing off what we didn't get done last time with the old dumper fire. Once that's done, we can get around a bit better. We can then get on to actually building some bike tracks. Well, the boys are cracking on with the clearing. God, that machine's obnoxiously loud, but it does do a good job. So yeah, so they just start cutting through for the green track up there on the top boundary. I'm going to go down and check how John and James are getting on moving the last bit of material. And I've still got a bit of a drama because our machine from Revolution's meant to be here, but the guy who normally moves it, unfortunately, his tractor and trailer are out of commission at the moment, so he can't bring it over. So I'm on a mission to try and find somebody with the appropriate machinery who could potentially bring it over. So otherwise we're going to get pretty stuck pretty soon if we don't have our machine here. So yeah, that's my mission. Oh, and then the other mission is the portaloo's been delivered to the wrong place, so I need to go and drag it over. Last thing we want is it left there where some hilarious children might try and push it over. Anyway, lovely day for it though. Okay, so unlike the last time when we were up here, the school is now open. So as such, we've got to do a little bit extra effort on security. I've got a load of fencing I've got to get up. So I'm going to get that up on the guys, crack on moving the last of the stone. Okay, so we are about 2/3 of the way through day one, I guess. See, John's behind me in the big machine, carrying on with the work from the last trip here, where we're just sort of tidying up a lot of the old stuff from the forestry, and various other bits have been dumped in this woods over the years, and also sort of claiming and stockpiling decent earth for shaping the trails. But yeah, it's going really well at the moment. Like I say, the forestry crew are cracking through. They're here for the first week only, so they got a lot to get through, but they are really making some good progress. And like I say, we're just kind of waiting now for material and other machine to arrive, but that won't be till tomorrow now. So yeah, probably not going to be too much more of interest today to report. So for the next few days I was at the park with the RAF, who were holding a race with us. While I was gone, the guys really cracked on, with the forestry guys finishing off the clearing, John doing more tidying up, and James cracking on with building the green trail. And by the time I returned, things were looking pretty awesome. So it's Monday, first day of the second week, and I've had a long weekend at the bike park, so I haven't really been here that much, but the guys have certainly been cracking on. James has almost reached the top of the green, but we need to get it surfaced while it's dry. So today we're going to go and move some of this amazing material that Evans has been sending us, and we're going to start trying to position it in places all over the woods. Now the problem is that the 9-ton dumper can move a lot of material quite efficiently, but it is somewhat limited on where it can drive. So we just had a bit of a walk up to look at the various access points. We've got a bit of a plan for the lower section. Basically I'm going to be cutting in where I can, dumping piles of stone, so the guys can then sort of spread it and do the final shaping. But once it goes up into the trees there, it's a bit more difficult. So we are trying to get hold of a tracked dumper, which will give us a bit more options for how we can move the material around. But for today, it's just going to be a case of move as much as we can, to as many places as we can, and see how it ends up at the end of it. So I've got to head back to the dumper, hopefully not set it on fire this time. We've got some stones to shift. With us dropping stone in strategic places along the trails, James was able to get started laying out and spreading out the material. Hi, hello all, it's the next day and we had a pretty productive day yesterday moving stone. As you can see behind me, immediately replaced by the next delivery by Evans. But like I say, we did make some really good progress. So what we're going to go and do is have a quick walk up and have a look. Now mainly the aim of yesterday was just to dump piles of stone in sort of strategic places along the track. We did manage to get it pretty decent, and James has actually been working all day today to level it out, smooth it out, and do some of the fine shaping. And we've got Scott also from Revolution who's here whacking it all down. So actually the green run is getting pretty close to being ready to go, which is quite exciting. Basically we're trying to just, rather than moving on to the next track's foundations, the aim is to get this one close to sort of surfaced and done, so that if this dry weather that we've been lucky to have recently dies, or the rain returns, it doesn't turn to a swamp before we can level it. So this is where the green ends as things stand right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up it and you can take a look at how it looks so far. But yeah, making really good progress. Like I say, we're only, it's week 2, day 2, and yeah, we've got one track. Wouldn't say it's finished, but certainly has made a lot of good progress. And I've got to say, this material is so good. I mean, obviously you can't tell, but it's so solid, and it hasn't even been compacted properly yet. You know, this is just us going over with a sort of rough smoothing over with our smaller whacker plate. I've just been into town actually to pick up a bigger one so that Scott can give it another going over tomorrow. We've got some dust coming. You can see it's a bit of a mix at the moment. Some of the surface is quite stony because this is kind of traditional 40 mil to dust MOT. So we're going to have to sort of put a layer of dust on some of this stuff just to probably get a nice smooth surface, but you know, it will grind down and pack down over time anyway. But yeah, absolutely awesome. So another day or two on that track, and then weather permitting, we can start cracking on with the blue. It's essentially what I'm stood on right now, but obviously right now it's just a vehicle access track. So that's probably going to about do it for today. I'll hopefully pick up again tomorrow, see how we're getting on. But yeah, things are really coming together. Okay, so I'm up here at the top of the hill at the end of another pretty productive day. The guys have been really cracking on making some progress, and the green trail is pretty much, well, not done. It's kind of built, it's surfaced, but we still need to bring in some finer material to give it a really good, nice top layer. So there is quite a bit more work to do, but at least we can get a sense of what it's going to be and what it's going to look like. So I thought I would come up here and we can walk down it. You can also see that autumn has hit pretty much today. So many leaves down, probably knocked off with some of the wind over the last week. But yeah, bit of blowing will clear it off before we put the dust on. So here we are, we're still following the sort of top boundary. So this is kind of the long straight that runs all the way across the site. But it's so nice, and I mean, obviously we're sort of dug through, but once nature starts to refill in all around it, I mean, it's gonna be absolutely stunning riding through here with all the trees and plants all around it. So we've got a bit of excess material still here. This was basically where I got in with the dumper in order to get material to this part of the trail. This is a bit stockpile, but we have got a gap down here that we need to fill in still, so this will certainly get used up. So yeah, as I say, here's the end of the surface bit, but it's only a very short gap. Just so you want to get around the corner here, it is we just need to, we don't have a machine that can move it down to here, and we're not really keen on the idea of wheelbarrowing at all. So we've got a smaller track dumper coming tomorrow that'll help us move some of this material around. And then we come to the top of the helter skelter, or at least that's what I always call these kind of things. As you can see, long sort of selection of sweeping berms going back and forth all the way down to the start area. And I think, again, this is sort of super fun, you know, bit steeper, bit more potential for some speed, obviously some sort of slightly bigger berm corners, but still super mellow, super chill. It's remarkable the amount of work, you know, that James, John and the team have done. You know, this is 5 days with our machine on site, you know, our Volvo, which does most of the shaping. And I mean, it's not good to go, but a layman's eyes like myself might think that it's ready to go. But like I say, we are going to put another layer of dust on it to get rid of, you see all these stony patches, and that dust will basically just give a good layer, make sure it stays smooth, but it'll also help it wear consistently, so you're not getting all the rocks sort of coming straight out as soon as it starts getting ridden on. There's a nice little berm there. They're all good sort of, you know, I'd say it's aimed at beginners, but it's all about progressing your skills, you know, starting here and hopefully building up through the other trails as your confidence and skills grows. And those kind of little berms are a great place to start off with. And here we are down to the end of the current surface bit. As you can tell, James has been working today to actually sort of extend it and finish it off, and also he's made a start on the blue run, as you can see next to it here. So the blue run, say step up on progression, a little bit more tricky, a little bit more technical features, shall we say, a little bit steeper, a little bit faster, but you know, still rollable, you know, fun. And you can see down here where the Volvo is, sort of kind of thing we're talking about. You know, it's the first time you're starting to see you know, introduction of sort of relatively mellow but you know, tabletops, you know, more technical jumps as opposed to just the sort of lump and bump enders. So yeah, it's still a lot of work in progress, but I think they're starting to look pretty real up here. As you can see, Evans has been busy delivering stone for us yesterday and today. This is probably about half the stone we originally ordered, about 140 to 160 tons I guess there is here. We're not doing too bad on material, but I think we probably have underestimated a little bit. We used a bit more on the green than we expected to, but ultimately it's not a bad thing. You know, if we can you know, the deeper we make it, the more armoured we make it, the longer the tracks will last, the less maintenance they require. So we really don't want to be skimping out on material just for the sake of saving a few quid. You know, and thanks to sort of support from Ridgeway, Evans and some of the other local companies that have sort of done us freebies and done us good deals on stuff, you know, the budget is there to, you know, up our material purchases if we need to. So my prediction is that this amount here will probably get us through the rest of the green and most of the blue. So we'll probably need this again for the red, but like I say, shouldn't be an issue. We should be able to achieve that, and ultimately, like I say, it's going to end up with a better product. So I think I'm going to wrap up the video there. I am keen to try and get these videos out as soon as I can, rather than sort of my usual 2 to 3 months later after filming it, because you know, I don't want these videos to be coming out after it's been opened and all that. I want to try and keep you guys up to date, particularly if you're a local person and you're interested in following the project. On that front, if you are interested in getting involved, then make sure to reach out to the Clonbusland Community Initiative. I'll put a link in the description for their contact details. As I say, we're desperately keen to get people involved, particularly in the long-term management and running of the site. So anyway, I'm going to call it there. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and do all that YouTube jazz. But most of all, guys, I hope to see you in the next one.